going to try this again. I just had a major malfunction. I was about 5 minutes into the video and everything just went south on it. So I'm going to start over. Hey guys, today is July 8th and it's about 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm heading home. And I just want to talk some more because I can't get this out of my head. Yeah, this craft that we saw the other night, 2 nights ago, is so far outside of my realm of comprehension. And that's a pretty heavy statement, you know, considering all the stuff that I and we, the Arizona 4, get to experience out here. And, you know, we've seen stuff in the sky, and you know, we've seen stuff with the forest people that, you know, it goes beyond physics and goes beyond explanation. You know, when you see an individual, it's, you know, just short of 12 foot or maybe right at about the 12-foot mark, and, you know, weighs probably about 1,600 pounds, moving through the forest as fast as he did and making no more noise than a butterfly. You know, you sit there and go, how does that happen? Yeah, you know, and some of the extra natural stuff that goes along with it, you know, the twinkle lights and the orbs and the mind speak and you know, them just vanishing into thin air and only leaving footprints when and where they choose to. And, you know, there's just enough with that, you know, challenges reason, challenges what we understand about laws of nature and laws of physics. And, you know, I'm 9 years into this now this month, or actually last month, June 17th, 19th, something like that is when basically I got active and doing this. But, you know, so 9 years into it, and, you know, I don't get so flabbergasted, or as Rob says, godsmacked, that this event has done, not to me, but to us, you know, the three of us that were there and witnessed this. And, you know, so part of why it's so profound to me is everything that led up to it. You know, every circumstance was met for the possibility of this thing to happen, and it happened. Right place, right time. Rob usually, when he's out doing these campouts with his wife and his friend, doesn't come and sit with us, you know, because he's doing his family thing, and that's understandable and acceptable. You know, sometimes late at night, once everybody's gone to bed, he'll come over and sit with us. But, you know, so this kind of setup, it's not in the realm of the norm for Rob to be sitting out with us. And the mind speak he got that he needed to sit out with us. And just everything that went on, everything lined up exactly the way it had to for this very profound moment to take place. And now I'll get into the brass tacks of it. You know, the whole thing lasted about a minute to a minute and a half. Bear with me a second here, folks. We got Arizona Squatch technology going on here. But, you know, the event lasted a minute and a half. And in that minute and a minute and a half, everything changed. Everything has changed for me. You know, there's. Let me back up and say there's no challenge to my faith in this. It's an increase in my faith. Gosh dang it. Alright, you can see what kind of roads I'm on, so just bear with me, guys. We are having technical difficulties on this, and I'm just trying to give you guys a little view of where we are. One more thing to square away here. So my faith is, you know, it's not testing my faith at any level, because I have a pretty good grasp on it, and where my belief system is, and why I believe what I believe. Things like this, the Bigfoot stuff, is, you know, a big play in it. Oh, we're still cantered. Hold on. Bear with me. We are doing the AST. I don't have, as you can tell, the best mount for doing what I'm trying to do here, but we're going to make it work. So, moving on with the subject. How high in the atmosphere, or outside of the atmosphere, how high from the surface of the earth does an object need to be 2 hours after sunset to still reflect light? You know, and so this is how I went to Google AI and the questions I asked, and as I refined the questions, and you know, AI, you know, did its thing, and so basically what we're looking at is, you know, the ISS, International Space Station. It's orbiting, you know, right around the 300-mile mark. And it's visible for a few moments because of sunlight reflecting off it. But the answer AI gave me was a little over 900 miles to a little over 1,200 miles from the surface of the earth to be visible with the sunlight reflecting off it 2 hours after the sunset. At arm's reach, this object was about 1 inch to 2 inches long. Hold on, getting some airflow going. But yeah, so it's about 1 inch to 2 inches long at arm's length if I held up a ruler. And let's just give it less than the 900 miles. And say it was 850 miles away. And the sunlight was still reflecting off it 2 hours after sunset. That's basically the distance from Phoenix, Arizona to San Antonio, Texas. At that distance, to be able to see something that was 1.5 inches, or we'll say 1.5 inches. We'll go in between 1 inch and 2 inches. It was 1.5 inches and 1/8 of an inch wide. This is why I am so profoundly perplexed by this. The sheer massiveness of this object. And, you know, zoomed in a couple of times on it from the original picture. And, you know, you can see solid structure. You know, this thing is absolutely built. 90-degree angle, three-dimensional. Who's driving it? Where'd it come from, and where's it going? There's not a sci-fi movie out there or show that I can think of that has a craft that would equal the scale of this thing. You know, the largest craft we've ever built in the history of mankind is our aircraft carriers. You know, this is a floating city. 2,500 plus people on it. Scooting along our oceans. You know, I'm just doing a lot of babbling. A lot of speculating. Yeah, Brett from Flash of Beauty. You know, he saw these pictures. We ended up live chatting with each other. And I gave him authorization to pass these pictures up the line. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's ex-NASA official, and you know, so these photographs are going to go the same place, you know. And while I'm talking with Brett, these washboard roads. While I'm talking with Brett, you know, he's looking at these pictures on a big screen, which I can't wait to do when I get home, because I'm just looking at them on my phone, and I'm sure that's going to screw me up even more. But, you know, just to look on Brett's face of what in the hell is this? I fail to believe that NORAD did not see this thing. I just failed to believe it. You know, they can see a 1 meter asteroid 5 lunar distance away and give us a date of when this is going to pass by the Earth. Oh, by the way, I am not suicidal. My brakes are fine. My vehicles are in great condition. And my pacemaker battery is good until I'm 75 years old. It's good for another 15 years. So I just want to get that out there. But I fail to believe that the United States government, the world, the powers that be, all of this has no idea that this thing is there. You know, all the stink went in the air about this interstellar object, the Muamua or whatever, you know, whatever they named that doggone thing that changed directions. And they said it had to have been an intelligent craft. I don't know how big they said that was. I don't recall. I haven't looked that up yet. But I know there's no way it was bigger than what we witnessed 2 nights ago. You know, maybe this is, you know, the reason for the escalations of nations. You know, everybody's wanting to get in control of the resources because the powers that be knows what's coming. Ancient prophetic texts talk about what's coming. Is this going to get swept underneath the rug? Is this going to explode and become that proof, that evidence that, you know, these UFO organizations and, you know, the congressional groups and all that, is this the one piece of information that we, the Arizona 4, have put out? You know, you guys, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm bringing you guys along on my ride home. I'm bringing you guys along. You know, you get to see, the forest. You know, you get to see a little bit of Arizona, and you getting a little taste of, you know, just how my thought processes work. You know, there's a lot of intellect, there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of known, there's a lot of unknown, and it's just doing this thing in my head, and I can't stop. You know, I didn't sleep very well, you know, the last 2 nights. I slept better last night, but, you know, I didn't sleep very well the last 2 nights. Our sit last night, you know, we sat out last night, and Rob was able to come sit with us again last night, you know, and that was awesome. You know, 2 nights in a row with Rob, when he's got his family and friends out here, you know, that just doesn't happen like that. Yeah, and we're grateful for it. And we had activity last night. You know, there were twinkle lights, and we had distortions. You know, at one point I think I had somebody standing within about 10 feet of me, was whistling back and forth with 2 of them, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, they started it, and I was mimicking everything they were doing, and that went on for a couple of minutes, and that was pretty awesome. I heard I heard him talking at one point. And that all had to take a back seat because I could not keep my eyes off the sky. I couldn't, and I say we. You know, Rob was doing a little better job of keeping his eye off the sky, but it seemed like every 30 seconds, like, don't look up. You know, and neither one of them has seen that movie, and I've only seen about the first 15 minutes of it, but don't look up. Don't look up. If you never know what you're going to see. Oh, we're almost on the blacktop. They put this in last year, or the year before, last year. This used to all be dirt, all washboard, just like what you've been experiencing. And now we got asphalt. And I like it and I don't like it. I like it because it's easier on the truck. I don't like it because it makes it a lot easier for people to get farther back out here, and it just kind of, I don't know. Back to the subject. Was this craft 50 miles long? Was this craft 150 miles long? Was this craft 1,000 miles long? That all depends on what its actual altitude, actual distance from the surface of the earth where we were at. 7,693 feet was our altitude, you know, so we're 6,700 foot was our altitude. And what was the distance away from us at that point? You know, if it was 0.10, you know, 10% of the distance of the moon, 30,000 miles-ish, just running off top of my head. I don't know. How is something that big even built? You know, let's look at traditional thought of mankind. $10,000 years ago, they say that we were hunter-gatherers and, you know, maybe just starting to plow fields. And 5,000 to 7,000 years ago, started building megaliths, you know, large structures. And 250 years ago, the United States became its independent nation, and we started building our nation. The possible size of this craft How long did it take to build? How long has it been traveling? Do they bend space? Do they just, I'm here and then I'm there? You know, these are all the questions that theoretical physicists and astronomers and armchair enthusiasts, you know, we don't know. But there it was. A minute and a half. Just completely changed everything. Of my understanding of physics. You know, some of this out loud thinking probably just sounds like lunacy, incoherent. I don't know. Without a doubt, I am definitely taken aback. You know, it's. I understand the size of our planet. You know, if you're a flat earther, I'm sorry. Can't help you. You know, just the sheer immensity of the size of our planet, and then matching that up to the solar system and the galaxy and the universe and just the expanse. We'll just call it the expanse. Can't wrap my head around the eternal size of the expanse. Nor do I need to. But what affects me directly, personally, you know, the comprehension of the size of our solar system. Everything inside the solar system directly affects me one way or another. Cosmic radiation, Van Allen belt, gravitational pull from Jupiter, and the sun. You know, it's a well working machine that is perfect in how it operates. It has to be perfect for it to operate the way it does, or we wouldn't be here. So everything, and that's why I say everything inside the solar system, you know, is important, because it does affect me. It affects us. It affects life. It affects everything about our existence. We wouldn't have it without the solar system being as perfect as it is. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to see the comments on these videos. You guys need to quit smoking dope. Yeah, you need to quit being a fucking retard. Sorry. Oh, forgive me. I need to clean my language up. One of the things in life I'm attempting to do is lose my military biker language, and it's difficult. Now there's going to be comments on, oh, I can't wait till they get here, and you know, our star people. You know, I'm in a different line of thinking with all of this, and you know, I don't feel threatened. You know, I don't feel danger, I should say. From this craft. I don't know how I feel. I don't know what to think. Are my thoughts coming out coherently? Probably not. As you all can see, Arizona is not all desert. I know when I watch this video, I'm going to be sitting there with my head tilted going, straighten the camera out, jerk. It's the best I can get it right now, so just tilt your head, it'll be straight. Arizona Squatch technology at its finest. Here we go, folks. All right. Well, man, I'm over a half hour. Jeez, where does the time go? I'm going to let you guys go. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I welcome it all. To see these pictures, I'll see if I can figure out how to put them on the front part of the YouTube. But go to AZ4 on Facebook. The pictures are posted there. On this YouTube channel, the Arizona Forest Sasquatch Experiencers, look for the tab that says posts. Say videos, something else, and posts off of the main page. Click on the posts, you can see the pictures. You decide. Anyway, we love each and every one of you. We thank you for taking your time to listen, comment, whatever you want to do. But we thank you for it and we love you for it. Be good to yourselves. Be good to those around you. Pay close attention to your surroundings. And please, please, please be safe. Peace out.